Hello everyone and welcome to my F1 97 Classic season. This is round 3 and we are at Buenos Aires in Argentina. Now out of all the tracks on F1 97, this is the one I could never get to grips with. Despite upping the downforce, lowering the downforce, altering the suspension settings, I've just never been able to get to grips with this track. I have a sneaky suspicion that the AI have a sneaky shortcut because their times just seem to be 2 to 3 seconds above what I can achieve. Anyway, this is my first qualifying run, and as you watch this going round, I will give you some information about the track from 1995 to 1998. A private consortium purchased the Buenos Aires track in 1991, renamed it and began to upgrade it. They got on the 1994 F1 season calendar, but the race set for October was aborted to continue modernisation. The general layout was not changed, but an S-chicane named after the late Ayrton Senna was added. The number 6 arena circuit was used, which did not include the flat-out Lake Run. This tight, twisty variant wasn't well suited to Formula 1 cars, and it was very difficult to pass on this variant because of the corners being so close together. The modernised Argentine Grand Prix returned in 1995, with victory going to Damon Hill. Hill would win the event again in 1996, his championship season, and in 1997 Jacques Villeneuve won the race in his championship season. Unfortunately, with the organisers of the event running into financial difficulties, the 1998 race was the last running of the Argentine Grand Prix. The checkered flag waving victory to Michael Schumacher in his 9th win for Ferrari. So there's a little bit of history about the Argentine track, as we just watched me going round on this qualifying lap. As I say, I've never been able to get to grips with these tight and twisty corners on this track. Let's see what our time is going to be. I usually average out about a 1:19. I think the AI manages about a 1:16 as we come down to the final corners of this lap. It's a very tight and twisty circuit, and as I say, I just can't get on with it. Now Mr. Panis, who would have been in the Prost, has done a 1:17, and that's all we've managed, a 1:20.8. Now that is going to be a disastrous time. We come in now to the pit lane and just look at the tight and twisty pit lanes. It's almost as bad as the last race in Brazil. They did like their twisty pit lanes in 1997, and as I come in to the pits after my first qualifying run, you can see I am in 4th position. We've got Williams, who is Jacques Villeneuve. He's in first. He's on a 1:16.2. Now as we advance the time a little later on in the qualifying, we can see that I am now down to 14th place. I have improved my time to a 1:18.5, but the pole time, which Michael Schumacher has achieved, is a 1:15.3. So I'm basically 3 seconds off the pace of the other cars. So this is my hot lap, or should it be called a cold lap, because I know I'm just not going to get anywhere near what the other drivers can achieve. The only good thing about this is I haven't seen anything of my teammate Fernando Alonso, so I'm presuming that he's in about as much trouble as I am. And of course, with this McLaren in 1997 being not as superior as the Benetton or the Williams Renault, I think I'm going to have a bit of a struggle. Michael Schumacher's got the fastest time on this section at the moment, for 57 seconds, and I think I'm going to be way off that. I reckon I'm going to be close to a minute by the time we get to the next marker point. Let me see now, 58, 59, 1 minute. Really, really bad. Two and a half almost seconds away from the pole time as someone goes into the pits there. So we come round, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is the hot lap. Not. There we go, a 1:19.4. That's actually slower than what I achieved earlier. As I come back into the twisty pit lane of death. Oh! And will you look at that? As I come in, I've made a 1:17.6. Now the reason I've done that is not because I've done superior speed, but on this track, the actual start line is in the pit lane is closer than it is on the track. So if you come into the pits, you actually reach the start line closer than what you do on the track, if that makes any sense. So you can actually put in a faster lap time by coming in to the pits. Okay, 14th, time for the race.
Welcome to Buenos Aires and the Autodromo Oscar Alfredo Galvez for this year's Argentine Grand Prix. Neither the drivers nor the teams particularly like the track. They find it difficult to get to grips with its narrow, twisty 2.6 miles. This was highlighted last year when there were several accidents. The drivers are getting ready for the start. They're lined up on the track. is closing.
Okay, as the music fades, now where did we end up? 16th position, and I think I'm trying to overtake an Arrows. As you probably saw there, I was very cautious on that first lap because it is so easy to lose a wing. And I'm going for the Arrows. No, I haven't got the Arrows. But 16th. Oh, and I've gone wide. I'm on the grass. Oh, and what's that? Oh no. Please don't tell me I've hit Damon Hill again. I must have done, because that was Pedro Diniz in front of me. Oh my god. Sorry, Damon. How can I have hit Damon again? Anyway, back to the racing now. We are on lap 4, and I do believe I'm in 16th position only as we come into my first pit stop in this tight, twisty, torturous pit lane. Okay, we're going to go for 10 laps of fuel. Down to 16th already. And yes, after my altercation with Damon, I now need a new rear wing. So, down to 19th place now as we come out of the pits. Eddie Irvine has got the fastest lap. We advance the time now, we're on lap 7. I think there's a few people gone into the pits, and we're now up to 17th position, but our lap times are about the 1:22 as we advance again to lap 13, because basically nothing has happened. I've not met any cars whatsoever. We have got up to 15th position though, but there's just been no cars to overtake because their speed is massively faster than mine. Oh, and there we go. Just to compound all the problems, I now have an engine problem with the car. I'm zooming out. I don't know if you can just about see the white smoke that comes out the back of the car. It's very difficult to see, but it is there. And the pit man usually says to me, "Are you okay?" There's the white smoke, if you can just see it. So I'm coming into the pits. It would be round about my pit stop time anyway. And magically, while coming in, the pitmen can repair my smoky engine. Those mechanics, they must be supermen. Because by the time I come out of the pit lane, and I've only done a 4.2 second pit stop, my engine is completely repaired. They've taken the head off, replaced the gaskets, and away we went in 4.2 seconds. Those guys are heroes. As we advance the time again, we're on lap 16 out of 20. I don't think I've been making up many places. We are eventually getting up to a back marker. So I have a little tiny bit of speed in the car, but not a lot. I'm in 15th position at the moment on lap 16, and I do believe it's a Stewart in front of us. Very difficult to see from this distance, despite the enormous quality of the F1 97 graphics. A bit too deep into the corner there. Braking was always another problem I had, on this track. Could never get that right. And yes, I think this is definitely a Stewart. Let me try and overtake. On lap 15, are we going to... No, we don't get the move done there. We should be able to do it on the straight. Here we go then. The one overtake move of the track. And it's a Stewart. Not very impressive. As we advance the time a little bit more, there's a car going slowly. That was a Sauber. Could have been Johnny Herbert, but I don't know why he's going slowly. Perhaps he's got an engine problem as well. And we advance the time a little bit more, and this is actually the last lap of the race. We've made up a few more places, but we've still only managed 12th position, unfortunately. But there you go. As I say, never been able to get to grips with this track. So we crossed the line and we made 12th place. But luckily Fernando Alonso didn't fare any better. Okay, round 4 is coming soon, and it's Imola.